Hello and welcome to Chicanime. My name is Lauren and today I am looking at another Zeronic Kiba video. This one is the Baharuth Empire Explained. So last time I did the Riestes Empire Explained. I've looked at a bunch of his videos in the past. I've really enjoyed all of them. Just keep letting me know which ones that I should watch specifically before I watch the Overlord movie. And I know I said I was going to do that. It's still the plan to do that this month. I think what I'm going to end up doing for it though is I just haven't gotten a lot of traction on the people who want to see it live. Some people were into it, but I only had like 4 people who were like, yeah, absolutely. And then every single one of them who was interested in it also had a caveat of make sure that it goes up regular as well because of time zones. So I think I'm just going to do it normal. I just have to do it on a day where I've got time to do it because at a point right now, I've been filming for the past few hours, but I have to go to work in the next hour. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot. So also because I have to do a lot more filming on myself because Kit's taking a little bit of a breather. So suddenly if I want to post at the normal schedule, I have to film at least 15 videos a week, not including the anime shows. So that, and not including the editing and not including all of that. So there's a lot right now if I'm going to be posting at the same rate that I have always posted. So that's not what this video is about. This video is about the Baharuth Empire. Let's go.
This video contains spoilers. Watch the fucking show.
Hey guys, what is going
wrong.
on? And I'm back again today with another Overlord Explained video. As promised in my last video where I explained the Riestes Kingdom, today we're going to be looking at another major country in the Overlord world and story, and that is the Baharuth Empire. So the Baharuth Empire, or as it's simply put, the Empire, was officially introduced in the Season 2 finale of Overlord, where we see Emperor Jerkneve and Fleur Paradine. The Baharuth Empire became a vital part of the story during Season 3, and we get to see a lot of how it operates during that season. However, there's always more info to find out in Overlord, and that's where I come in. So as with my previous video on the Riestes Kingdom, I'll mainly be focused on the broad aspects of the Empire, and we'll try to avoid going into too much detail on the smaller stuff, as that would take way too long. With that being said, let's get into the video. So like the Riestes Kingdom, the Baharuth Empire is a human nation that borders Nazarick, and was founded after the defeat of the evil deities over 200 years ago in the New World timeline.
Which again, still isn't that long ago. Like, 200 years feels like a short amount of time to have such a huge, bit of space. I mean, I guess, I know that Alexander the Great created an empire that, like, very quickly, Genghis Khan had an empire that happened really quickly, but, Alexander's failed pretty quickly. I don't know. I just feel like it feels like the evil gods should have been longer ago than 2 centuries. In my head, it feels like that should happened longer ago. I don't know why.
Several generations ago, the Empire was a feudal state, similar to that of the Riestes Kingdom. The Empire had many powerful nobles that the administration of the Empire fell to, in particular the Court Council. Seats on the council were entrusted to nobles who had been educated since birth, but in some cases, wealthy nobles bribed their way onto the council as well. Similarly to the kingdom, the Empire also once had a group of extremely powerful nobles called the 5 Great Nobles. They were a group of noble families who held extreme influence within the Empire. Their specific purpose was to protect the borders of the Empire, and they possessed private military forces. However, the structure of the government and the nation...
I like that. That was really funny. Let me in!
Empire. Their specific purpose was to protect the borders of the Empire, and they possessed...
I love it, because they're protecting the borders. Okay, I'm glad I went back and redid... Because I just got so distracted by the meme of it all. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Good job.
Private military forces. However, the structure of the government and the nation as a whole changed drastically when the current Emperor Jerkneve came into power. Following the death of the previous emperor, a very violent power struggle took place within the empire for the throne. Jerkneve's mother, who was from one of the 5 great families, was accused of assassinating the emperor so that Jerkneve could take the throne. In order to secure his throne, Jerkneve was forced to eliminate all of his familial rivals. This resulted in Jerkneve's family being completely wiped out, including his mother. While emotionally damaging Jerkneve permanently, this action did allow for him to secure his place as crown prince and ascend the throne at the age of 12. After becoming
Whoa! He killed his whole family at the age of 12? Scheisse, no wonder he's messed up.
Emperor, Jerknev organized a massive purge amongst the nobles who opposed him, which included the 5 great families. He did this through draining their resources by sending their private forces against the kingdom in their annual wars and stripping them of their wealth through their upkeep. He also ordered a multitude of executions, killing entire families down to the last person.
Holy shit, I did not realize how I didn't realize how it's a little Joffrey Baratheon-y, except for, like, he's actually smart. I mean, I knew he was smart, but, like, holy shit. This guy's... What? Okay, well, already, this got wild way faster than I expected.
The amount of violent and cruel acts performed by Jerknev during his ascension and early reign, he became known as the Bloody Emperor. His rise also heralded the fall of noble authority and centralization of power within the empire, turning it into an absolute monarchy state. Despite these early bloody years of his reign, Jerknev proved himself to be an exceptional ruler, turning the empire into one of the more powerful and prosperous countries in the region. After the Purge, the Emperor formed a bureaucratic party to administrate and maintain the empire. This bureaucracy is divided into several departments with their own focuses and specializations. He adopted many of the social reforms that were passed by Princess Rhaenyra in the kingdom, as well as overhauling many of the government processes. Unlike the kingdom, which gives its positions almost entirely on a hereditary basis, a limited meritocracy exists within the empire, allowing commoners to advance on the social ladder based purely on their skills. This is shown through the presence of commoners in the empire's bureaucracy, who were brought up to help alleviate the administrative burden left by the lack of nobles. Now, despite the Purge, many nobles still exist within the empire due to them having sworn loyalty to the emperor. Their political power has been massively reduced, but Jerknev still views them as minor threats. To keep them in line, Jerknev invokes annual taxes on the nobles to make them assist in their wars against the kingdom. Thanks to the actions of Jerknev, the citizens of the empire enjoy a relatively high standard of living. The education system of the empire is also higher quality than that of other human nations, mainly due to the establishment of the Imperial Magic Academy. The academy is a state-funded education establishment in the Empire's capital, Arwentar, that is exclusive for citizens of the Empire. Prior to its creation, the only means of education in the Empire were private schools, tutors, and self-study. These methods were also not realistically available to commoners, as many of them did not have the time to self-study or could not afford private education.
Dang, Jerknev is like... He's got all the extremes, huh? He's incredibly ruthless and violent, and willing to do some truly awful, awful things. But then he's like, social reforms, and let's make sure the commoners can get educated, and if they do a good job, then, you know, they can get raised up, giving them actual chances in ways that, like, other countries aren't really doing. That's kind of crazy. He contains multitudes. I did not realize that. I kind of like treated him a little bit like a wet cat, like he's a sopping wet cat of a man in the show, just because, like, you don't get to see all of the backstory. You only see his stuff with Ainz, and he was terrified of Ainz the entire time. So, like, and also planning to double cross him, but, like, also terrified of him. So it's fascinating to see. What an interesting guy. Way more interesting than I thought.
The Academy was formed in order to ensure those that possessed skills and talents that could assist the Empire were afforded the opportunity to develop them. In order to attend, a rigorous entrance exam must be passed, and scholarships are also awarded to those who have excellent grades or have particular talents. Arshay, one of the members of Foresight that was shown during Season 3 of the anime, studied at the Academy. Due to her talent, she eventually became one of Flutter's personal apprentices, called the Chosen 30.
Wow.
Now, despite its name, the school is not only for magic casters. While magic is vitally important to the Empire, the Academy also functions as a general education facility. The Academy has also led to the overall literacy rate of the Empire's citizens to be relatively high compared to other nations in the region.
That's
the
awesome.
Academy is also experimenting with...
It's not the Academy, it's the Ministry of Magic that's conducting research. Okay.
The possibility of using undead as a source of labor, which would allow for the redirection of manpower to the military. However, this has faced opposition amongst the religious organizations of the Empire.
Yeah.
Laborers within the Empire...
I wouldn't want zombies building my house or tending my fields. I feel like that would feel unsanitary.
are also opposed to this due to wanting to maintain their job security. Now, as for the military of the Empire, unlike the Riestes Kingdom, which relies mostly on conscripted soldiers, the Empire has a standing professional army. This means that their soldiers are full-time career warriors, provided with professional training, which greatly enhances their quality and strength despite being lower in number. They are also provided with the latest in magical technology by the Ministry of Magic. The Empire is also considered the most advanced nation in the region in terms of magical technology, not counting Nazarick and the Sorcerer.
And all of that's pretty new,
The Imperial
right?
Army is comprised of 8 legions of 10,000 men, which are primarily cavalry, with each legion's leader being a general. The general of the first legion, however, is referred to as the Field Marshal, and is the commander-in-chief of the entire Imperial Army. The legions are also ranked by their numbers. The smaller the number, the higher level of martial strength in that legion, making the first legion the strongest and the 8th legion the weakest. The Imperial Army is also very well organized, with each legion possessing several officers, such as division and brigade commanders. The well-defined structure makes the chain of command clear within the army, allowing for effective communication, unlike the army of Riestes that has a conglomerate structure of several private armies. The Imperial Army also has an aerial warfare branch called the Royal Air Guard, which consists of
I noticed these, there's sphinxes, or griffins. Are they griffins?
on flying beasts and magic casters capable of using
cool.
flight magic. The Empire also possesses several other military assets that are under the direct control of the Emperor. These include the Royal Earth Guard, which are a squad of elite knights, the Royal Guard, which are knights specifically chosen to protect the Imperial Palace in Arantar, and the 4 Imperial Knights, which are 4 knights that act as personal bodyguards to the Emperor. Another great asset of the Empire's military is the number of high-tier magic casters that are present.
Okay, high tier relative to the New World. Alright, okay, so not by Yggdrasil standards.
In particular, Fluter Paradine. Fluter is capable of using 6th tier magic, which is the highest level ever attained by an individual human in the New World. This makes him one of the most powerful magic casters amongst New World inhabitants. But this
and it makes him a lot more sense why he's why he's so quick to turn and to treat Ainz as basically a god. Because you could teach me so much. Okay.
He's said to rival or debatably surpass those of Regret of the 13 Heroes.
Wow.
Fluter is also famous for being able to use 3 different systems of magic: arcane, divine, and spiritual.
Okay.
Combining these systems in a ritual is what allowed Fluter to prolong his lifespan beyond natural human length. The Empire's investment in magic as well as Fluter's presence has also resulted in the quality of magic casters in the Empire to be rather high. In particular, his 30 pupils, all of which are capable of 3rd tier magic, and some of which are capable of 4th. Oddly enough though, despite the Empire's focus on magic and the number of high tier magic casters that are present, unlike the Kingdom and the Slain Theocracy, the Empire does not have a magic caster capable of using resurrection magic. So lastly, I would like to cover the foreign relations of the Empire. Now, as I already touched upon Baharuth's relationship with Riestes in my previous video on the Kingdom, I'll keep this one short just by saying that they are openly hostile with each other. This is shown by their annual engagements at the Kot's Plains.
Our yearly
the
wars.
Actions of 8 Fingers.
I still think it's so funny that they have a yearly war. It makes sense, kind of. I'm just, every year, just for a little bit, and then we'll go back to do our own things for a while, and then back, it's harvest time again? Let's go have another little war again. It's just I don't know, I just find it amusing.
Fingers selling the drug Black Dust to the Empire citizens is another source of antagonism between the two countries. Moving on to the Slain Theocracy, similarly to the Kingdom, the Empire has a mostly neutral relationship with the Theocracy. The Empire is aware of the movements of the Theocracy, as shown when they knew about the Sunlight Scripture being wiped out by Ainz, which implies that they monitor their activity. The Empire has also made requests for the Theocracy to share their teachings and knowledge of divine magic, though the Theocracy has yet to reply to these appeals. Like the Kingdom, the Empire sees the Theocracy as a necessary evil, as they keep the encroaching demi-human nations in check, allowing for the human nations to grow. As for the Empire's other neighbors, it enjoys an amiable relationship with the Dwarf Kingdom. Unlike Riestes, the Empire has fully established trade relations with the Dwarf Kingdom, which is extremely lucrative. Because of this relationship, the Empire has strived to preserve the civil rights of dwarves within the Empire. As for the Dragon Kingdom, the Empire has an agreement with them, with the Dragon Kingdom paying tribute to the Empire in return for military aid against the Beastman country. The Empire honors this deal as they view the Dragon Kingdom as a necessary buffer country between the Empire and the Beastman country. Despite having a mutually beneficial relationship, Emperor Jerkneef seems to have a personal dislike towards the Dragon Queen, the leader of the Dragon Kingdom. The Empire additionally enjoys relatively amicable relations with its other neighbor, the City-State Alliance, in particular the city of Bebad, as its mayor has a personally good relationship with Jerkneef. The Empire has little interaction with the Argon Council State or the Robo Holy Kingdom due to their geographical positions, but political dialogue is maintained with the Council State, and the citizens of the Empire admire the advancements of the Holy Kingdom. And so, guys, that pretty much covers the Baharuth Empire, another one of the major nations of the Overlord.
That was way more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
When compared to the kingdom, it's clear to see that the Empire is the superior country.
Yeah, for
While
sure.
it has suffered from political turmoil due to the actions of Emperor Jerknev, Baharuth has become a strong and prosperous human nation. Despite these advancements, with the Empire now entangled with Nazarick and the Sorcerer Kingdom, it's clear to see that no matter how well developed they may be, it means this in the face of Ainz.
Nothing! You lose!
So guys, I hope this video provided you all with a better picture of the
Nice
Baharuth
use of that
Empire and
particular
opened up
name.
the world of Overlord just a little
It
bit
really
more.
did.
The next one I'll be doing will be on the last of the human nations to border Nazarick, the Slain Theocracy, so I hope you guys look forward to that.
Okay.
If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, please don't forget to hit that like button on your way out. If you aren't already, please subscribe to the channel as it helps me out more than you know, and it'll also let you know when I post in the future. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching to the very end of the video, and I will see you all next time. Bye.
Great. That was honestly, I'm not sure what I expected, but I feel like because we just didn't get to see too much of the Empire or its like common citizens and stuff. I think that if we'd seen more of that in the show, like this would have not been as like, "Whoa!" But because we didn't really get to see that, we only really saw the Emperor and like his immediate cronies. Like we saw how they were interacting with Ainz, but we didn't get to see how everything interacts with in itself. And with the Riestes Kingdom, we saw a lot of the common folk, you know, with the Carne village, and then like with the people in the town. Like we did get to see a lot of the common citizens in Riestes. So I think that just by virtue of us not seeing much of the Baharuth Empire, this was so fascinating. So I really enjoyed this video. I liked this one a lot. And you know, Jerknev contains multitudes. He's actually really fascinating, and I really wish that they'd explored that a little bit more in the show itself. Maybe we'll see more of him in season 5 whenever that comes out. But until then, I guess next time is going to be the Slain Theocracy Explained. I can't remember if I'm still like one behind in the Coccidus videos over on Annie News. I don't know. But if there's any other ones, any other videos that I should be looking at specifically, go ahead and let me know. And I will look into that. Thank you for such an amazing video. I hope I'm saying your name right, Zeronic Kiba, because I know that I was saying it wrong before. But I really like this one, and I will look forward to the next one.